Okay, do you want to start with the mundane or the one that you just told me?
Well, I didn't just find. I found out this morning.
Oh, okay.
Because it's brand new as of this morning.
And does the word brand new have to do with who it's about?
It does.
I'm Nikki Bon, and my friends always make fun of me because they say I live under a rock because I never know really much about anything. Not really current events, pop culture, politics. I just don't like scrolling the internet. It makes me feel bad about myself. So I'm going to have my friends come on and fill me in on things I've missed, and I am going to assess whether or not I even needed to know about that in the first place. Because sometimes it's really enjoyable being blissfully clueless.
Russell Brand
Okay.
is apparently, well, he's an accused rapist now.
Really?
Yeah. But they're saying it was like a while ago when he was like at his like peak fame.
When he
Apparently,
was like crazy?
there was like this,
Take me to the Greek?
maybe that era probably. I don't. So I like barely looked into this because I'm so I'm at this point. I'm like I hear these things. I'm like I can't anymore. Good
What do you
Friends
mean you
was
can't anymore?
I just
Makes you so sad?
there's too many. I can't read these articles every time.
Oh, wow.
You read coming from the person who reads nothing, who didn't even know who Jussie Smollett was.
You're right. I am happy.
O.J. Simpson did what? What?
Yeah, but I'm happy. It's nice over here.
Yeah, I'm happy.
You can't be half in, half out. You can't be picky and choosy if you're going to read the news, okay? You got to take it all in.
I have to learn about all the women who got raped.
Yeah, I choose to stay away from everything, okay? I choose that. You can't be over there. I don't want that one. That's like always taking the red Skittles.
So let me clarify. Before we did the Hassan Minaj thing, before I brought up the Hassan Minaj thing, I only saw things about it from people's tweets.
Okay.
I only read the article because I knew I was coming on the podcast today to talk about it, and I felt like it was important that I be informed.
Okay, but you're always
so the Russell Brand thing that happened today, which I did not come here specifically to speak about, I only saw on Twitter this morning. It was like, oh, okay, that's happening now. Had I known I was coming to talk about it, of course I would have read the full article.
So what's the deal?
I mean, it's just that...
who do you rape?
I think it was like they said like 4 women. And
that's a lot of women.
And then one of them was like 16.
No. Proper rape?
Apparently he used to call her the child. I don't know. Again, I don't know which version of rape it was. Proper rape, improper rape. I feel like no rape is proper.
No, but like
I know what you mean though.
Like was it like
was it
shover?
Prison rape or was
it date rape?
Date rape, was it statutory rape?
Was it like lock her in a room, do it to her? Was it they were both drunk and she was asleep and he stuck it in her? Like what are we talking? Is he an aggressive raper? Is he a sneaky sleazy raper? Is he a silent ninja date raper?
I feel like knowing
I don't mean to laugh at this. It's just the
I feel like knowing nothing about what actually happened. I'm entering a real
gray area.
Well, a real landmine filled topic.
Yeah, that's true. But
like
what
okay,
did you read?
here's what's interesting about so we're talking about Russell Brand, like they get him to the Greek era where he's playing like a Mick Jaggery type guy and probably living like I mean, he was fucking married to Katy Perry.
Yeah.
So he was living some sort of like stand-up comedy rock star type of life at the time.
Yeah.
And I can't say that. I gotta like check my brain. But I'm just like I'm like how many people was he sleeping with like at that time? And like for accusing him of this, he probably did do it and should be held accountable for it. But it's also like you were really up in your numbers of getting involved in a situation like this by being that promiscuous. In fact,
having so much sex
one
with
of
people?
the largest reasons that like I would just like to have a girlfriend is not.
I don't know where you're going with this.
Is just like it feels easier to just have one person. You
Because then you don't
are
have
with
to
forever.
Because then you don't have to rape anybody.
No, exactly. You're talking about the landmine, but you just don't have to deal with not knowing who the fuck you're out with at any moment.
I'd like also that you think that you would be that, like, since you're single, you're living a life like
I'm not,
Russell Brand, the rock star.
I'm not living a life. I'm just pointing out you don't like that. I went on 3 dates with a girl, and I went on 2 dates with a girl. One was a video chat date during the pandemic, and she like held me hostage for hours.
What where? How?
I've told you this story, and I can't. You can
Okay.
just watch the episode of with Harper Rose Drummond on my podcast if you want to hear that story. But I'm just saying, it's like it's this. I'm not trying to conflate these two things.
I know
at all.
You're digging
but like
yourself.
Dating is fucking intense.
So you're saying that since he's promiscuous, like, he is bound to get into a gray situation. I think that also, like, I feel like
I just think it's dangerous to be that level of promiscuous. I'm saying
and he was really fucked up, right?
And he was fucked up, and I'm thinking probably doing a lot of drugs. That's not something I'm really worried about. I'm not worried about. I just want to be clear. I'm not worried about raping anyone. This episode cannot be released. I am not worried about doing. I am just saying.
I was making fun of you.
I'm just saying that there's like,
but I swear to God,
a peace of mind and like, I love my wife and
no girl can accuse me of anything.
Yeah,
or
but
like,
even there are people that
you just don't want to anymore having to see if everything's consensual because you can be accused of something.
I guess it's like, who knows what's going on during like the wild years of Russell Brand's life.
Okay, so
I'm not defending. I just want to be clear.
I know. Okay.
I know nothing about these cases.
Okay.
Other than
well, I also think that like there's such a change in where rock stars and all these famous people like assume everybody wanted to have sex with them, and they would just go to and have sex with them. Like, it was just like, that's what we do. We have sex with people, and people are backstage because they want to have sex with me, so I'll go have sex with them. And that's where like they are so up and high and mighty in their head that they're like, everybody wants my dick, and it's like, no, I just wanted your autograph actually.
But there's like an interesting thing, about how like how Mick Jagger and David Bowie had sex with each other. Do you know about that?
No.
Okay, yeah. Mick Jagger and David Bowie had sex with each other. Richard Pryor and Marlon Brando had sex with each other.
For sure?
I'm pretty sure for sure.
How'd you... what's the tale?
But I always say, especially in particularly with the David Bowie Mick Jagger thing, it's like, well, we fucked everyone else. What at this point, a hole is a hole.
Do you really think they had sex?
Yeah.
Says who?
I think them.
Really?
Yeah. I don't think they were like...
Butt fucking?
I guess so. What other kind is there?
See, this is something I should know. I should know that.
You should know that Mick Jagger and David Bowie had sex.
I respect that.
Yeah, but I'm just like, I think like
they've had sex with everybody.
It's kind of like, when before you lose your virginity, people put such a like premium on this, and then you do it and you're like, oh, that was that, and it's like, I don't know, I think at the point at which you've had as much sex as Mick Jagger or David Bowie, the idea of gay sex is like, what the difference is like so minuscule to them at that point.
Well, I also think that they would probably be like, oh, we can have sex with anybody, and then they're like, but could I have sex with you? And he's like, but could I have sex with you?
Also, they've probably entered into sex addict realms.
Yeah. Because it's like, to be a rock star is sex, drugs, right? So then they're like, well, we have to
sometimes rock and roll as well.
Yeah. Exactly. Sometimes. But everybody wanted to be a rock. Not that these guys did, but people that look up to them want to be rock stars so that they can go and have sex with people. Mm-hmm. Interesting. Okay, so I think Russell Brand, he definitely seemed like someone, like we said, Mick Jagger, living a sexed up life. And just
that was
wild.
like his whole character. I mean, Get Him to the Greek was his character from Forgetting Sarah Marshall.
Right.
Another thing, but the whole thing was that he's like this totally sexually free guy that like fucks everything.
I love how sexually free guy that fucks everything. If that was a female, it would just be called a slut. Like that'd be called a hooker. But if it's a guy, they're like, oh, he's just this hot guy that fucks everything.
Sexually free dude.
So there was a 16-year-old that they called the child.
I don't think she'd be called a hooker if she was sexually free. call a hooker if she was sexually expensive.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true. But they would be like,
or just sexually cheap, but not sexually free.
Not sexually
that's
free.
That's just a slut.
Yeah, that's a slut. It's so unfair.
It's a dirty.
Okay, we're gonna stop.
This episode's not. I refuse.
You just got
Refuse
canceled.
to sign.
This episode's going out for sure. Yeah, but here's the thing. I will say, you just went, she'd be a dirty slut, but I'm like, Russell Brand is a dirty whore as well. Like, he's dirty. If I was, because I used to like have a crush on Russell Brand, but not in a way that I wanted to admit. So I actually hated him. I'd be like, and he didn't know me at all. And I would watch him and I'd be like, oh, he's so annoying. I hate him. And then it was really because I was like,
she was like, but I love him.
I love him. and he's so obnoxious and confident and like fun and silly and oh man, he seems like a cool guy. And then I was like, but I hate him. So I wouldn't give it to him. It's this weird thing. So he's dirty. Like, yeah. So I guess I'll let you say dirty slut because men are still dirty. They're dogs. Okay. So what, I want to know more. You don't know anything.
I don't know. I've given you everything I know about it. He like preempted the article coming out this morning and like made a video. Do you want to watch the video of him like
yes,
getting ahead of things?
I thought you were going to say getting head. I was like, well, that's one way to tackle the beast.
Now, this isn't the usual type of video we make on this channel where we critique, attack, really and undermine the news in all its corruption, because in this story, I am the news. I've received 2 extremely disturbing letters, or a letter and an email, one from a mainstream media TV company, one from a newspaper, listing a litany of extremely egregious and aggressive attacks, as well as some pretty stupid stuff, like my community festival should be stopped, that I shouldn't be able to attack mainstream media narratives on this channel. But amidst this litany of astonishing, rather baroque attacks are some very serious allegations that I absolutely refute. These allegations pertain to the time when I was working in the mainstream, when I was in the newspapers all the time, when I was in the movies, and as I've written about extensively in my books, I was very, very promiscuous. Now, during that time of promiscuity, the relationships I had were absolutely always consensual. I was always transparent about that then, almost too transparent. And I'm being transparent about it now as well. And to see that transparency metastasized into something criminal that I absolutely deny makes me question, is there another agenda at play, particularly when we've seen coordinated media attacks before, like with Joe Rogan when he dared to take a medicine that the mainstream media didn't approve of, and we saw a spate of headlines from media outlets across the world using the same language. I'm aware that you guys have been saying in the comments for a while, watch out Russell, they're coming for you, you're getting too close to the truth, Russell Brand did not kill himself. I know that a year ago there was a spate of articles, Russell Brand's a conspiracy theorist, Russell Brand's right wing. I'm aware of news media making phone calls, sending letters to people I know for ages and ages. It's been clear to me, or at least it feels to me, like there's a serious and concerted agenda to control these kind of spaces and these kind of voices. And I mean my voice along with your voice. I don't mind them using my books and my stand-up to talk about my promiscuous consensual conduct in the past. What I seriously refute are these very, very serious criminal allegations. Also, it's worth mentioning that there are witnesses whose evidence directly contradicts the narratives that these 2 mainstream media outlets are trying to construct, apparently in what seems to me to be a coordinated attack. Now, I don't want to get into this any further because of the serious nature of the allegations, but I feel like I'm being attacked, and plainly they are working very closely together. We are obviously going to look into this matter because it's very, very serious. In the meantime, I want you to stay close, stay awake, but more important than any of that, if you can, please stay free.
What? Wait. That wasn't anything. He just was like, that wasn't even like, oh God, like, I hope I didn't do it. He's really not admitting a thing. He's like, I've seen this happen before to everybody, and I know how to play this shit.
I've thought about, like, if I were to get canceled in the future.
Oh my God, Josh, I just don't think you should even say it.
No. Well, my thought is, like, first I'd have to like, I always say to anyone who's afraid of getting canceled that's at our level, like, you got to get picked up first, buddy. You can't get canceled before you get picked up. That's how canceled works.
Yeah.
But I like to imagine that if I ever am in a position, whether I did the thing or not, whether I felt justified in my cancellation or not, I'd just be like, I'm out.
Well, okay.
And I just go away. I just be done. I'm like, I did my thing.
And go live on a farm?
Yeah, finish the novel I've started.
No one want to read the novel.
I don't
You're
care.
a rapist. You're not a rapist.
Did I ever tell you about the time someone thought I was Jared from Subway?
No.
Oh my God. You know about him, right? You know what he did.
Yeah, I know
You're
about
like,
him.
wait, Jared did what?
Yeah, I know about him.
Jared did what?
What happened?
Oh my God. You want to talk about like the craziest fucking thing that ever happened to me? This is, again, going back to the Sam Minaj story, this is 100% true.
Okay.
There is nothing fabricated about this.
Go.
I've been trying to figure out how to work it into my stand-up.
Okay.
But this is after Jared has gone to jail.
Okay.
So Jared is in prison for his crimes. Like, it is important to know that Jared is in prison already for his crimes. I was clean shaven. I wasn't wearing my hat, and I had glasses on for some stupid reason.
Okay.
I go to Sassafras on Vine, you know, Sassafras. Yeah. I'm there with like some friends. We're all hanging out. This guy comes over to me, goes, I know you. And I go,
oh, like comedy?
No, I wasn't even doing comedy at the time.
Oh my God.
And I was like, maybe, like, are you a film person? Like, no, I know. You're that fucking rapist. And he starts going, you're a pedophile. Screaming, pointing at me in the middle of Sassafras at the top of his lungs, screaming, you're a pedophile. I'm like, you have me confused with someone else, buddy. I'm sorry. He's like, no, you're that fucking sandwich guy. And I'm like, you mean Jared from Subway? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, he's in jail. I'm like, no, it's you. And he jumps to attack me.
No.
And like the bouncer like grabs him and throws him out. And like they actually apparently, thank God everyone like kind of heard the whole thing.
Whoa.
But like there was never anything in my life as crazy as having somebody yell "you're a pedophile" to me at the top of their lungs in the middle of a bar. So the rest of like the night, the guy's standing outside like waiting.
Really?
Waiting. And I'm like with my friends, like, what am I gonna do? Like, we gotta get out of here. And apparently like his friend, he was drunk or whatever.
Yeah.
His friends calm him down. I leave the bar and like with my friends, and the guy's like, hey man, I just want to say I'm sorry.
He said that?
Yeah, he's like, I'm sorry. I was so drunk. I'm like, all good, man, all good. We get into our lift and I roll down my window and I go, hey man, eat fresh. And then the thing drives away.
What did he do?
I don't know. They just said eat fresh and then we drove
Oh,
away.
I in my head I went darker. I thought you'd roll down the window and be like, you got a daughter?
No, just eat fresh, motherfucker. It's the Subway.
I know. Oh my God, that's insane.
But what would have been really funny is if the Lyft driver just like didn't move. Right
Yeah,
then I'm like, what are you doing? Go.
Oh my God, that is so funny. And I love that happened to you.
Oh man. Talk about like one of the craziest, most terrifying moments of my life.
So now you know what it's like, and now you won't do it. You know, maybe that was God being like, hey, Josh, in case you were ever going to think of
Being a child molester?
Yeah, don't. This is what it would be like, okay? Okay, so then, but that apology video is really, he's very confident. He doesn't blink. He uses his hands the whole entire time. So it's almost like you can't read his emotion because I'm following his hands, and he's not afraid.
But I feel like there's also an interesting thing. Like, you can't read too much into any of those things. Like, you ever see like the Amanda Knox documentary? You know who Amanda Knox is.
Yeah,
you know who she is.
Yeah.
Chicks always love their fucking murder stories. But like her whole thing was that she like didn't seem that upset about like her roommates, so that she became like the target of the investigation. And it's like, people like just react. You can't. I don't think you can actually assess the way a person
Okay,
reacts to
that's
a thing.
fair. But
and, like,
unless
use that.
unless you did something bad and you're okay with it, then that makes you a psychopath. But he just was very like Russell Brand, although like I hate him, love him, but he's very culty now. Like it's very, and I'm woo woo. I love that shit, but his is a bit too in your face. And if you speak like you know everything, then it's a red flag to me. So yeah, what you're saying, like it's people are trying to get me, but who
Okay,
knows? I would
one,
like to see.
I have one more story that
Oh.
kind of relates.
Okay.
This is in 2015. I don't know if you remember this. I guess you weren't even in.
No, so
you
I may
weren't
not
even
know.
here yet.
Yeah.
So this is like pre Me Too. A guy I used to be, I guess, friends with. I met him doing stand up in Los Angeles, and then whenever I would go to New York, I would like do his show and we'd hang out a little bit. That was the extent. And like
Okay.
we went on like a mini tour together.
Okay.
In 2015, like a bunch of women. This is what Kurt Metzger got in trouble for.
Okay.
Like the first time.
Yeah.
This guy got accused of raping a bunch of women at UCB on the internet.
Oh yeah.
And it like ruined him, obviously.
I
and
remember
Kurt
this.
Metzger like went online and was like, "You can't just say someone did something like anonymously on the internet. Now we're all just like, fuck this guy." And it did really like disturb me watching his life just get ruined like that. And he didn't
And
even
you
know.
were friends with him?
I was friends with him. At the
I
time.
do know this story because I lived here then.
This was in 2015 though.
Yeah, I lived
you lived here already.
Yeah.
Okay, yes. So anyway, he was like messaging. I wasn't like good friends with him at all. I wasn't good friends with him at all, but I was friendly and he was messaging me. Can you believe what they're saying about me? And I'm just like, no, but also like, why are you mad? Like, I'm uncomfortable with everything that's happening.
Yeah.
But he was like, he ended up being so aggressive towards me and like demanding my like support of him
Interesting.
and stuff that like I started to feel pressured in a way where I was like, I don't like you anymore.
Yeah.
Like I feel like if I were in your scenario and people were making this stuff up about me, I would probably be approaching people like, hey,
Gently.
I know this looks terrible and I totally understand if you want nothing to do with me for your own like sake. I'm just telling you
I didn't do it.
I didn't do this. I don't
But
know
he
what
got
to
in.
do.
He went.
But
To,
he was like, no. He just kind of like
whoa.
just kind of like ruined everything
Damn.
he'd been
Wow.
working towards. And again, you know, like, I remember like the way he was aggressive towards me was
Yeah.
the thing that
But
like made
that's-
me be like, no.
Because that's defense. That's like, yeah, it's like, come on, desperation defense. And
Yeah,
then
I
you're
was like, I felt like I was being, I felt like, I'm like,
Bullied.
oh, this is like being pressured into doing a thing I don't want to do.
yeah, yeah.
Um,
Well, that's what that apology, not apology, but that video is very much like that. Believe it's the people, they're coming for me, and I don't know. I have to read more about these girls. I don't know.
I don't know anything.
Let's see what Katy Perry says.
That'll be interesting.
Okay, did I need to know about that? Yeah, I'd like to know about that because he's like he's like my like enemy lover. I always like the rapist, man.
Do you?
Yeah,
What other ones?
Paul Walker.
Was Paul Walker a rapist?
Yeah, or he was having sex with 16-year-olds.
You were
He
talking
wasn't a
about the Fast and the
rapist.
Furious Paul Walker.
Yeah,
Okay.
he was my number one. And then
You ever see the movie Running Scared?
no.
Oh, it's my favorite Paul Walker movie.
Oh, and then James Franco. He's not a rapist either, but I like the ones that like the young ones.
Oh man, can I say like a potentially career ruining James Franco take?
Yeah.
So I find his
Is it career ruining?
No, I just think his situation again, the only detail I think about his situation is weird is like the person who was uncomfortable at the orgy. Do you remember that part of the James Franco story?
Yeah.
I was also so like I was like, so why didn't you leave the orgy? Why has the orgy got to be ruined for everyone?
Was she the one? Was she like the main one that came out?
I don't actually remember the details of the situation,
Yeah.
but I was just like,
An orgy's an orgy.
yeah. But
Yeah.
like you don't have to partake.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think there is an interesting thing that happens sometimes where like nobody's willing to take any responsibility for themselves because they're uncomfortable in the
They're offended,
situation.
so then
And I
they-
understand that it's not good to be uncomfortable, and it's not
But
great
then
that
you
people
leave.
put you in.
Okay.
But here's the thing: like, ever since I got mugged, I now have no problem if I'm walking home at night and something starts to feel uncomfortable, just running and feeling
Yeah.
weird. I've learned to be embarrassed.
I guess it depends with James Franco. It's a power dynamic thing.
Yeah, I guess.
With
But
a mugger.
like, were they again? The question was, were they being like, "What, you're
Held
gonna leave?"
captive, or- yeah.
Or was she just like, "Oh, it just felt weird because everyone was there doing it, and I want to look uncomfortable."
I need to know what she looks like to
I don't.
judge
I
her.
also, and I. You should cut that because I don't
Okay,
really know.
okay.
I really don't know what I'm talking about.
Okay,
at all.
what's the other thing?
The other
Eileen?
thing is just that there was this article about Martin Short that came out.
Okay.
And the whole thing is the Slate article, and it's just an article about how Martin.
What's a Slate article?
Slate. It's the Slate. It's just it's like Rolling Stone or but
Oh,
not very
okay.
Slate. And the article is just Martin Short's not actually funny, and it's like this whole someone just decided to write an article about Martin Short not being funny, and then all these people, like everyone's just been coming out and going, Martin Short's the greatest, but like.
That's the stupidest article.
It's the stupidest article ever. I had to read the article today. I didn't read the article. I just knew about it until today.
That is.
And it's just someone being like, he's just annoying.
I feel like people are now just trying to take comedians down for not being truly funny. That's great. This
And
is
also you're
next
like picking
level
like you're
cancellation.
picking like a legend like Martin Short to
This is
take down.
next level. And just
It's
that
just
he's
people
not-
this is the thing. People are so fucking desperate for content.
Yeah,
That like I feel like so
like this series I'm doing.
but the series is good. There's like purpose to it, and
Yeah,
and-
like that article, I didn't need to know about that. I could live my life without. I could be blissfully clueless about that.
I mean, I can even say that like for me, I've been trying to make more sketches and things recently, but I'm really trying my best not to like. I keep like writing things. I'm like, no, I'm forcing this one versus like, oh, this is actually coming from a real.
But like it's Martin,
place.
but it's also Martin Short, and also like you have to why does that one person think that they can
What I think's really going on is
Yeah,
that that
what's going
person needs to
write a story about
write a
something?
story so he can put food on the table. So he just decides to write that because it's clickbaity, and
Well-
everyone's talking about it now. And success. It's made it to your podcast.
Yeah,
It's,
that's true.
we
It
are-
did.
we are
but
here.
I'm like this. You didn't need to be on my podcast.
Yeah, everyone's like,
yeah, I
to
don't.
you.
I don't need.
You didn't need
talk
to know
about you.
that
I'm not even going to
people were
find out what
shitting
your
on
name
Martin
is.
Short. Yeah.
Okay, but they really are trying to take people down for not being funny, which is wild. But it's like, hey,
Can I
guys,
say
we're
like
trolls.
a thing that I hate that people do?
Okay.
I hate when like someone gets canceled and people go, I never thought they were funny anyways. All I hear when someone does that is like, I don't have to feel bad about not watching this thing anymore that you love, that you have to now contend with your own personal emotions about enjoying.
Oh my god, I do not care that people say that. It's weird that you care that people say that.
I didn't find them funny anyways.
Yeah,
It's like, well, I'm like,
They just-
okay, great. You didn't like Woody Allen and his
I think-
movies,
I
and his
think that-
movies changed my life.
I think that they're like, I'm not going to miss him anyways. That's what it is. It's
yeah,
like,
but
who
it's like
cares?
they
I
like
don't
they
really
want to
care.
get like patted on the back for not liking
not
them.
liking them
And I'm
originally.
I'm glad you don't have a hard time giving up this thing you loved. Congratulations to you.
That's like being like, my grandma died, and you'd be like, well, I didn't
didn't
know her anyway.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it's like, man, you know.
But I do have that mentality. Like whenever I'm like, oh, I got married, people are like, congratulations. I'm like, nah, you don't know me. You don't have to say it. You don't care. That's what I say.
but
I'm
like-
you don't care.
But like, you know, take Bill Cosby for example, okay?
Yeah.
Like there's a
That
lot
made
of
me sad.
Yeah, but I'm saying there were like black kids who like were looking at the movies, and every black person in a movie is like a thug or like aggressive or like something terrible. And then Bill Cosby's like, I can be funny and I can be clean and I can be like a dad who's
Where are you going with
Mr.
this?
Huxtable. And it's like, and then Bill Cosby's comes out that he did all these terrible things, and now you have to contend with the fact that this guy who inspired you in your life is now a bad guy. And then other people are like, I never liked him anyways. And you're like, well, good for you. I'm glad this person who didn't change your life.
Sounds like you're hanging with really negative people.
No, it's just again, you're not on Twitter. You're
I'm
not learning
on
about
Twitter.
it. But
It's
people
true.
are
I'm
always
not.
commenting like you'll see. I bet you if you went on Twitter, people are like, I never thought Russell Brand was funny anyway.
All right, I will check it out. Also, Twitter's called X now.
Oh, it's called X. Yeah.
When did he change it?
I don't know.
Okay.
I hate him so much.
Okay. And then the last thing before we go that I want to say is I've been staring at you this way, and your eyebrows go quite deep down here. Like they actually hit your eye line.
Oh, yeah.
Has anyone told you that?
I know I have long
It's
eyebrows.
wild. Your eye goes here.
They finally
There.
grown back when I
Goes
was
sideways so I can punch in and see how his eye ends here, and then his eyebrows go all the way down there.
Can I tell you something funny that happened to me when I was leaving Scotland?
Yeah, I can't stop looking at
I
it.
got a haircut. They finally grown back, so you can't really
Uh-huh.
see now. But I got a haircut my
Yeah.
last day in Scotland. They were like, "Do you want me to clean up your eyebrows too?" And I was like, "Sure." And he just went.
Really?
Didn't shave them off, but he
But you
trimmed
trim them.
He trimmed them like
You
so.
should trim them.
But they were trimmed so short that like I felt I couldn't help. People were like, someone said to me, they go, "Did you draw your eyebrows on?" Because they were trimmed that short that I was like, it looks like makeup now. I was like, I thought you were just gonna like, take the comb and the scissors and actually trim my eyebrows, but they just went like one.
I didn't like them anyways. But you should just tweeze right there.
Maybe.
It'll open your eyes a bit more.
Okay.
Okay, but you don't have to. I just noticed that.
They are long.
Yeah, they just go deep. I think mine. Okay, anyways, mine would too because I'm Greek. Okay, well, thanks for coming on. I didn't need to know about Martin Short. Don't care. Russell Brand, I just more so find interesting. But as you said, there's
probably-
another rapist.
It's probably
And-
good to know. You don't want to be going out talking about how you have a crush on Russell Brand.
It's true,
and
which
then-
I was doing that about James Franco. So that actually saved me. So thank you. Okay.
But you did get pretty far not knowing about Jussie Smollett.
I did. That was the last episode, though,
Yeah.
wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I guess you saved me from saying I secretly like Russell Brand. Because people would think that I'm saying it because he's a rapist, and I'm going, I secretly like Russell Brand. They're like, oh, she's saying it because she secretly likes the rapist. When really, I mean, I don't want to like him, but I do because he's annoyed. Like, wrong context. Okay. All right. Are you ready to sign off?
Mhm. How do I do it again?
Thanks for tuning in.
Yeah.
Mwah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. 1, 2, 3.
Thanks for tuning in.
Mwah. You didn't do the mwah.
I did the.
No.
I have to say. I have to do the M. I have to do the. Mwah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now let's say a different sentence. What do you want to say?
No more. Thanks for tuning in.
What do you
That's
wanna
all, folks.
That's all, folks. Okay. 1, 2, 3.
That's all, folks. Mwah.
Very good.